What's worse, a peeling paint disaster or the view of your messy garage every time you walk past your kitchen? Lucky us, we had both. But instead of replacing the door, we found a budget-friendly way to make it look custom and hide the clutter. Today we're going to show you how we did it. This door had been painted and repainted, but the area around the doorknob always peeled. Since we had made over this hallway, we wanted a seamless, color-drenched look, and we knew we needed to paint that door. We tried scraping the flakes around the door to see if we would be able to get it smooth enough to be able to paint. Unfortunately, even though I spent many hours trying to do that, we realized that this was not going to be an option. So that meant we would have to take the door off the hinges and address this another way. Trent started by using paint remover, which initially worked, but suddenly it stopped working.
Okay, so I'm extremely frustrated. I've been working on this door forever and it doesn't seem to be coming clean. Every time I strip it, it gets gooey. Every time it gets gooey and I let it dry and I sand it, it takes forever to sand and multiple sanding pads, but I don't see any other way around it. I'm gonna have to get it almost down to the metal as far as I can go, maybe all the way to the metal, and then I'll have to just prime it. So I've got this part all the way down to the metal. I tried to get it just down to the primer, but then it just started gooing up on me. This is all goo flakes. You can see here, you would see all of that, and none of that sands out. On these skinny parts of the door, I didn't use stripper. I used 80 grit sandpaper, probably went through 3 80 grit pad circles. Then I came back with 150 grit sandpaper and smoothed it out even further. So that feels pretty good. So this Bondo spreader is working way better than the metal scrapers. Really is taking that stuff down without scratching the metal. And then just rub it back on there and let it sit for another second or two. That's good. That's much easier to sand off anyway.
It just turned into a sticky goo. It was messing with the factory primer, and no matter what we tried using the paint remover, it just was not the solution. So the only other option, we had to sand the door, which we weren't thrilled about, but sometimes DIYing means doing the job that you hoped you could avoid. If we were going to go that far, we might as well fix the dents on the other side of the door. Since the door was already off, we went ahead and patched the dents with the Bondo. Trent filled in those dents and was able to sand those away. I thought Trent had a great idea for the plastic grids that held the glass in place. Using our pressure washer and a tip with a low PSI, he was able to pressure wash all of the old paint off, which we then could prime and then paint them with this mineral paint.
Well, I didn't video myself priming it, but I primed it. And look at that. Didn't even matter that I Bondoed things, because you can see the dents anyway. Oh yeah.
Using a paint sprayer, we were able to prime the door, and then we painted it in the same custom gray-green that we used on the paneling going down the wall and all of the cabinets in our kitchen. If you want the paint mix, check out our kitchen paint video where we explain the Fusion mineral paint blend that we used. Okay, so let me show you what I do with my rollers. This roller has been in my refrigerator for, I'm not kidding, maybe 3 weeks. And it is still wet and usable. The trick is you get a piece of cling wrap, then any paint that's left over in your tray, you want to load it onto your roller so that way your roller is wet all the way around. Then You just take, and I'm reusing this. I think I've used this maybe 4 or 5 times. So what you do is put the roller into the cling wrap, cover it up, make sure that it's fully covered, and then now we're gonna stick it in the refrigerator. Okay, so we have a refrigerator out in our garage. Just take the roller, and I bet we already have other rollers. Yeah, look at that. Lots of rollers and brushes. Okay, so here is a brush. Same concept. You want to make sure that your brush really has a lot of paint on the bristles. That helps it from getting that dry edge that gets crusty in the back. So you wrap it in the saran wrap or the cling wrap and you stick it in the refrigerator. Here's another one. Same paint. Has been in there for a few weeks. It's a great way to save your rollers. Now here's the real problem. The clear glass. Even on a clean garage day, all you see are those ugly metal garage door tracks. Not exactly the cozy vibe that we were hoping for. But since this is such a dark hallway, we didn't want to lose the light that was able to come in through that glass. So we found this gallery stained glass effect paint made for glass by the company Plaid, and we used it in a clear color. It is a clear textured finish that you can either brush on or scrape on, or you could probably even finger paint it on to manipulate the paint and get the pattern that you want. We did 2 coats on both sides of the glass, so that way we truly got that blurred privacy glass effect that hides the mess, but still will let in all of the light. Now this is what it looks like when it's drying. It does go on opaque, but it dries clear. After 2 coats of paint, we have moved the door inside, and I am going to put on this coating. It is called Clear Tough Coat, and it is a wipe-on poly. So I've got a new damp kitchen sponge that I'm going to use, because that's what it says, apply with a damp kitchen sponge. Then what I'm going to do is, after this dries, I'm going to put another top coat of the Fusion Mineral Paint. According to their website, they call this a sandwich, and it makes a really strong top coat. So we're going to give that a try, and hopefully that will give a long-lasting finish to this highly used exterior door. We'll see. Ooh. Okay, there's a piece of clear glass right here that I almost just knocked off the table. Not good. Okay, so that is supposed to dry for a couple of hours. Then I can put on the third and final coat of paint, and then we can put the glass in. Now let me show you. I mentioned that I bumped into this piece of glass. Let me show you how it turned out. Ta-da! Pretty cool, right? All that was left was to paint this final coat, and then we could finally insert the glass and reinstall the door. All right, let's lift it up and then turn it around. Looks so good. Yep. That's exactly what I wanted. The very last thing that we had to do for this reveal was to spray paint the hinges. I wanted them to be antique brass so that way they flow with the rest of the kitchen design. And here's a little side note of a couple of other projects that we did. We have a central vac system in our house, which I absolutely love, and we spray painted that central vac that antique brass color. Using this same technique, that's how we updated these hinges, so that way there's that little touch of brass when the door is closed, peeking through. Now the door looks fresh, it looks polished, and you can't see our garage mess every time you walk past. Sometimes the smallest upgrades can make the biggest difference, and this one only took some sandpaper, paint, and a little glass magic, and a whole lot of elbow grease and frustration having to sand that door, but it was worth it in the end. So if you have a door that's either peeling or showing off views that you would rather hide, why not give this a try? We were so pleased with the results, and I feel like it truly has finished off this hallway. Be sure to subscribe to Your Home Renewed for more budget-friendly projects, and make sure you don't miss our next video. We are giving the final reveal of our kitchen remodel with the full budget breakdown. We can't wait.